Hello stampers! It's Thursday and it's time for another video, and today's video is going to incorporate a couple different ways that you can use Brushos. So these are powdered pigments, and I will admit I was very afraid to try these. But I had a friend come over today and she's new to stamping, and I thought, you know what, let's get these out and play with them, and we had a really good time with them, and I'm glad we did. So we're gonna make this card here. Yes, shimmer and all. Alright, so I have some watercolor cardstock here, and I'm gonna just take my stamping mat out of the way. And the stamp set that I'm using is You've Got This, which is a two-part stamp set. So you get this very large flower, which is very, very handy if you want to do any kind of coloring. So watercoloring, the alcohol markers, watercolor markers, colored pencils. So it's a very versatile set, and some really nice positive sayings. So you've got, I'm here for you, good things are going to happen, and you've got this. The other part of this stamp set is a very large kind of like artistic scribble background, and I actually separated these, and I keep this one with my backgrounds because it is let me pull it out here for you guys. I mean, you can see it's pretty large. So this is a 5 3/3. I mean, it takes up the whole background. But I love this set because I reach for it often to make very quick and easy stamps or cards, sorry, not because of actually coloring it in, but I do this what I call sloppy coloring method. So I love this set. And I will post links down below at the end of the video here in the video section, so that you can see if you want to order these, what their numbers are. They are Stampin' Up. Alright, so I'm going to be using watercolor paper, and I'm going to be stamping on the smooth side. And I'm using VersaFine ink, and the reason I use VersaFine ink is it is a waterproof ink once it's dry. So I just have the flower here. I'm just going to ink it up. Actually, I'm going to do it this way. And you want to keep this little spongy mesh thing because it apparently keeps your ink from drying out. So we're going to stamp this down twice, and we're going to kind of do this in two ways. So I guess towards the middle. Now, when stamping on watercolor paper, I usually use some kind of stamp positioner, just because the texture on watercolor paper, sometimes you can misstamp it. So it's nice to have that, but today I'm just kind of winging it. All right. So just to speed it up a little, I'm going to take heat gun to this. All right, so I'm going to lay down some paper towels here because this is going to get a little messy, but fun messy. All right, so the first way to do this is to wet your paper. Let me just get my mini mister here. I just got to put a little water in it. Alright, so the first one I'm going to do, I'm just going to take my little mini mister, and I'm just going to spritz water on the card. So I want to make the card kind of damp, just rain on it a little bit. So now it's damp. And then what I did with my Brushos is I just poked a little pin in the top and kind of made a little opening there. So this one's Brilliant Red, and you're just going to sprinkle where you want that color. And I would recommend a surface where it's easy cleanup, which is why I have my craft mat underneath, because these guys do tend to spread and get all over the place. I'm going to take a little yellow and just kind of do it in the center there. And then I'm going to take some of the green and do it down at the bottom here. And I can see that my watercolor paper is starting to dry out. That's okay. And you might want to have some water brushes around. So let me grab one of those quick. Or a regular paintbrush will work. So you can see that it's starting to move, but the fun part is, and this would be when the paper's already wet and putting that down, is taking now my mini mister and misting it again. And what this is going to do, you can see there, this is the fun, the magic, and is activating those pigments and drawing that color out. Now anywhere that I don't think that that color is moving enough, I'm going to take a little bit of a water brush here and just kind of color that in. So I'm taking the leaves, and this is going to be more controlled coloring. Color those in. And then just wipe off your water brush on your paper towel. Here there's kind of a big glob of red, so I'm just going to kind of move some of that around. And the more you spray it, the more it's going to move around and give it that fun watercolored look. And I kind of like it like that, so I'm really not going to mess with this one too much. Just some of that excess I'm going to drip off. Move it around a little bit. And then we can set that off to dry, or we can take a heat tool to it to dry. So let me just take a heat tool to it a little bit. Heat gun. You can see as that dries, it starts to flatten itself out. Now I'm just going to heat it from the back side to flatten out the back. Okay, so that didn't take very long at all. And you could leave it like this. Very cool. What we did on ours was we took a shimmer pen. So this is a Stella shimmer pen. And we went over the whole thing and shimmered it up. So you can see on the finished card here that you have that, you know, dispersed out look and then the shimmer on there. So that's just one fun way of making a really easy watercolor card with the Brushos, and it really didn't take that much effort to make it look really pretty and artsy. And then we just mounted it on a card. The other way that you can use the Brushos is a traditional watercolor. So here again, same image stamped out with that VersaFine ink. And what I've done is I've taken a palette. So here's my palette, and I have sprinkled some Brusho in there. And then I'm just going to take my water brush and I'm going to wet the image where I want the Brushos to go. So I'm just going to do this small section at a time. And I'm going to take a different brush, which is clean, and I'm just going to pick up some of that pigment, which I've already watered down. And then my cardstock dried out pretty quick. Take that pigment and just kind of drop it down where I want it. This is more of a controlled watercolor look. The more water you put, the less intense the color is going to be. So obviously this takes more time, but I think it looks, like I said, more controlled. And I'm a more controlled person when I'm doing my artwork. I like to know where the color is going. So that first method is kind of like really freeing and fun and artsy, where this is more control of where your color is going. Alright, almost done here. The more you want that pigment to flow and move, you just put that, make sure that that area is just really wet with the clean water brush. Alright, and now what you can do is you can go in and intensify the color. So anywhere you really want it to be darker, towards the bottom or those inside petals there, you can go back in and add more concentrated color. And then anywhere else that you kind of just want that color to move and pull out, you just use your clean water brush and just pull the color, and it'll pull it out. It'll be a little bit lighter. It won't be as concentrated, but it'll move it across the petal there because it reactivates with water. And again, anywhere you want it to be darker, you just go back in and add some more of that, and then go back in with your clean brush and drag it out. Same thing with the stem. A little bit of green here. center there, I just want to do a little bit of yellow. Alright, so there you go, guys. 2 very easy ways to use Brushos. The first way is just the spritz method, just the salt and pepper shaker and spritzing it. So you can either use the cardstock already wet, and when it's already wet, it goes down. Actually, I'll just show you here. Pretty easy. So if we just spritz a little corner here and put it down, you can see it move right away. Pretty neat. Or we can put the powder over here and then spray it. And kind of control the direction that it's going in. But, it's kind of like fireworks. Pretty neat. There. And then you can move that around. So, that was the first method we did here. Or you can do the more control method where you use it as a watercolor and you decide where you want that color to go. Alright, so there you go, guys. And then, like I said, I just took some Wink of Stella and put that on there. Mounted it to a card base. And, there you go. And I would recommend using fast fuse on this because the cardstock does tend to warp a little bit, and the fast fuse does a very good job of holding in place. So thanks for watching, guys. Oh, one more thing. So I'm having a card swap this weekend, and we made 2 cards today, my friend and I wanted to show them to you guys real quick. So this is a play on the one that my friend made. The only difference is she did have a strip of decorative paper going across hers. So this is the bunny card. And we're going to make, she made them as Easter cards. And this one says Hip Hop Hooray on the inside. So very cute. And then I made this barn door card with the little barn door that slides so you can see the horse and the foal. So I just want to show you guys these. If you have any questions or comments, post them below. If you want to see a video on either of these, this is a 3-layer stamped card. So it looks dimensional. And then this one is obviously a dimensional card. And post them below. I will put links on the supplies down below. And keep on stamping. Bye, guys.
Was it good?